Hey there, I'm Brit from Universal Audio, and in this video I'm going to walk you through how to start recording and editing vocals in the free version of Luna. From proper gain staging and recording techniques, all the way through comping and building your own vocal chain. Let's get started. First, if you haven't already downloaded Luna free, head over to uaudio.com/Luna and click the button that says Download Luna Free. Create your UA account, or log in if you already have one. Then download and install UA Connect. Next, open UA Connect and log in using your UA account information. A pop-up should appear to let you know that your Luna free software is ready to download. But if you don't see that pop-up, just click on Luna in the column to the left. If you're brand new to Luna, this is Universal Audio's recording and production software designed to make the creative process feel immediate, especially if you're tracking vocals, instruments, or building ideas quickly. The free version gives you a professional recording environment with unlimited audio and MIDI tracks, built-in sounds and instruments, editing tools, and a workflow that feels very natural if you're wanting to stay focused on making music instead of digging through menus. If you already have an Apollo or other UA hardware, it becomes even more seamless, but you can absolutely start learning and creating in Luna without needing a complicated setup at all. While we're here, it's also worth mentioning that Universal Audio is giving away a free plugin bundle right now called UAD Explore Free. This bundle of software includes 8 of our most popular UAD plugins like the 1176 and LA2A compressors and the 610 Preamp. But most importantly, it's completely free to everyone, no strings attached. I'll be demonstrating vocal chains using some of this bundle later, but you can also follow along with whatever plugins you already have. So now that Luna's installed, let's open it up and get a session running. Let's start by opening up Luna and creating a new blank session. Give your session a name. Set the BPM if you know what it is, and then click Create to open it. Start by creating a mono audio track for your vocal, and don't forget to name and color it. This may seem minor, but good organization makes editing so much easier later. For this video, I'm going to drag in an instrumental track as well so I can sing along to it. You might already have a session in progress, or you can also follow along using your own instrumental so you can practice these same techniques as we go. Before we start recording, let's go over some basics that'll set you up for success. Whether you're recording your own vocals or working with an artist in the room, these same guidelines apply. Before we start singing, make sure your mic is positioned correctly to the sound source, which in this case is the vocalist. A great starting point is placing the mic about 6 to 8 inches from the singer's mouth with a pop filter in between to help control plosives. You can also angle the mic slightly off axis to reduce sibilants and harsh consonants. Next, let's set our mic's input level. The goal is to capture a strong, clean signal without overloading the preamp and creating unwanted distortion, also known as clipping. This process is called gain staging, and it's an important part of any great sounding recording. A simple way to dial this in is to have the vocalist sing the loudest section of the song while watching your input level. I usually aim for a signal that stays comfortably in the green and only touches yellow during the loudest peaks. If you want to think in decibels, a solid target is peaking somewhere between -10 and 6. That usually gives you enough level while leaving headroom for louder moments. A lot of vocal issues actually start here, because if your gain staging is off, editing and mixing becomes so much harder later. Taking an extra minute to get this right up front will make a huge difference. Now that we have good mic placement and healthy gain staging, next we need to make sure that you can hear your voice in your headphones without any distracting delay known as latency. In most cases, the easiest way to do this is to enable direct monitoring on your audio interface. Or if you're already using an Apollo interface, you can monitor with near zero latency directly in Luna, even when recording through UAD plugins. If you're using another audio interface that doesn't have direct monitoring, you can also monitor through Luna, but you'll need to lower your buffer size as far as your computer will allow so you can minimize the latency. Once your levels are good, you're ready to start recording. One cool feature in Luna is its voice commands. Like any DAW, you could hit the record button or perform a key command, but unlike most other recording softwares, Luna allows you to use your voice. Check this out. Luna, start recording. Luna, stop recording. At this stage, I usually recommend recording several full passes instead of trying to capture one perfect take right away. Here, I recommend you turn on your loop record and take a bunch of takes so that Luna will automatically put them in separate take lanes. Some people prefer recording section by section rather than the whole song start to finish, especially if they want to focus fully on one verse, chorus, or difficult phrase at a time. All in all, don't worry about nailing the song in one take, because you'll be able to take the best parts of each and combine them later, just like the pros do. This process is called comping, and we'll go over that next. Once you have a few takes recorded, the next stage is comping your vocal. Comping simply means building one final performance by choosing the strongest phrases from each take. In Luna, you can open your take lanes and move through performances directly in the timeline, which keeps the process fast and intuitive. As you listen through your takes, I recommend prioritizing emotional delivery first, clarity second, and pitch last. That might sound surprising, but a vocal that feels believable will almost always connect more than one that feels technically perfect but emotionally flat. And a lot of pitch problems can be corrected after recording. To comp in Luna, follow a few steps. The first is create a new, empty take lane on the track where you loop recorded all your takes. To sift between the takes, hold the Shift button while hitting the up or down arrows. When you find a phrase you want to add to your final comp, hold down Command to highlight it in slip mode, so you're not locked to the grid, and press B to separate it from the rest of the take. Now you want to hit Command C to copy that region. Once the section is copied, hold down Shift while clicking the up arrow again until you get back to your new empty track lane you created at the beginning. Now press Command V to paste the region in the exact position where you had copied it in the previous track. Repeat this process, auditioning all your takes for the best sections until you have the full phrase on your comping track lane. Once your comp feels strong, you can start by cleaning up only what needs attention. First, I like to clean up breath, mouth noises, and anything distracting between phrases, because a little cleanup here makes mixing much easier later. Next, I deal with pitch issues. Pitch correction should always support the performance, not flatten it. For this reason, I like to take a more natural approach, but some genres benefit from more obvious effects. Here's how I would personally tune this vocal using Melodyne. A silenced mind. Let's feel feelings, let's feelings right. Only once the performance itself feels solid do I move into tone shaping. This usually means adding EQ for clarity, compression for consistency, and reverb and delay for depth. I like to start with a preamp to add tone and a little saturation. This part's not super necessary, but it's a small, beautiful detail that can help a vocal stand out against the track later by introducing harmonics and gentle saturation to the original signal. Here I'll load up the UA610 tube preamp and EQ collection. I'll lightly drive the vocal into the tube preamp until I just begin to hear a little edge at the loudest moment. Then I'm going to back it off slightly. It may not sound dramatic on its own, but a lot of what makes a vocal feel larger than life later is a series of small intentional decisions that stack over time. A silenced mind lets feelings rise. A silenced mind lets feelings rise. Run for our lives. Next, I like to add a compressor to help control dynamics. Vocals naturally move between softer phrases and louder moments, and at its most basic, a compressor helps reduce that gap by gently bringing the quiet notes forward and keeping the louder notes from jumping out too much. The result is a vocal that feels more even and controlled and easier for the singer to perform against in real time. My compressor of choice today is the Teletronix LA2A tube compressor because it's simple, straightforward, and sounds great on vocals. I'm going to aim for the meter to hit somewhere between -2 and 5 on the louder moments so that I'm not overly squashing it. I want to adjust the gain here so that the volume is the same as when the compressor was disengaged. A silenced mind lets feelings rise. Next, and not included in this bundle, I'm going to grab an EQ. Whatever EQ you have available will work great, and while they may all look different, they all work with roughly the same principles. Personally, I'm going to reach for one of my favorites, the Pultec EQP-1A. It may look complicated, but I promise it's much simpler than it appears. First, I'll listen to the track and identify what part of the vocal feels like it's competing with the instrumentation. In this case, because my vocal sits in an alto range, it shares some space with the acoustic guitar. So I want to clean up a little of low buildup without losing the body of the vocal. This is important. I'll start by attenuating the problem area, around 100 Hz in this case, and I'm not afraid to exaggerate the move just at first so I can really hear what the control is doing. Once I hear it clearly, I'm going to dial it back just until it starts to clean up the vocal without thinning it out too much. A silenced mind Now here's one of the cool things about the Pultec. I'm going to boost that exact same frequency. The reason this works and the reason it's designed this way is because the boost and attenuation curves are shaped slightly differently. So you can reduce some of that mud while still bringing back that body and warmth. Check out this before and after.
Let's feelings rise. Let's feelings rise.
Now I'm going to add a little air. One of the reasons the Pultec is so loved on vocals is its high frequency boost. It adds this open, polished top end that almost feels like a pop track without sounding harsh. Here I'm just going to boost 16K a little, which adds a subtle sense of clarity and polish to the top.
A silenced mind. Let's feelings rise.
Now I'm going to add a second layer of compression. The first layer helped gently smooth things out, but this next layer is going to catch those faster peaks and help the vocals sit a little more confidently in the front of the track. I'm using the UAD 1176 Classic FET compressor from our bundle, because unlike the LA2A, which is more smooth, warm, and musical, this compressor reacts quite fast, which makes it great for controlling those louder consonants or phrases that suddenly jump forward. I'll dial it into the vocal until it feels tighter and a little more present, but still natural. I'm going to use a medium to fast attack here, which helps the compressor react quickly enough to catch the louder peaks, along with a fast release so the vocal still feels energetic and alive. One thing to know about the 1176 is that its attack knob works opposite from what most people expect. So as you turn it clockwise, the compressor actually reacts faster.
A silenced mind. Let's feelings rise. Run for our lives.
Finally, I want to add a sense of space that makes this performance feel more natural and tucked into the track. For this, I'm going to use Reverb. Instead of inserting Reverb directly onto the vocal track as we've done with the rest of our plugins today, I'm going to create an aux track and use a send so that I can blend it in just the right amount. To do this in Luna, scroll down to your vocal track until you see the send section with a plus sign. Click the plus sign, then move to the left where you'll see another plus sign next to send. Click that, create a new bus, and name it something clear. I'll call mine Reverb. This creates a dedicated path for sending some of that vocal signal to our reverb track while keeping the original vocal clean and separate. I will use the reverb included in our free bundle today, the UAD Pure Plate Reverb. I want the vocal to stay up front, so I'm choosing a plate reverb with a nice pre-delay, which is just a fancy way of saying that the reverb waits a second before it blooms behind the vocal. That tiny delay helps preserve the clarity of the original performance so that the vocal stays more present while still gaining a sense of depth and space. I'll start with the return a little louder than I actually want so I can clearly hear what it's doing. Then I'm going to dial it back until I miss it when it's gone, but don't necessarily notice it when it's there.
Run for our lives. Everywhere, every direction.
Now that we have our basics of a vocal chain ready to go, let's hear both the before and the after and see how we did.
A silenced mind. Let's feelings rise. A silenced mind. Let's feelings rise. Run for our lives. Everywhere, every direction.
This is just one of many ways to shape, control, and refine a vocal. But as always, the most important part is getting the performance to sound right at the source. Effects should only enhance what's working, not try to rescue something that's captured poorly. Honestly, that's one of the biggest secrets behind professional recordings. Great recordings begin before you ever reach for the plugins. Get the source right, capture multiple options, and edit with intention, because when the performance is strong from the beginning, every step after becomes easier. I hope this demonstration helped you better understand the process of recording and editing vocals inside Luna. Not long ago, workflows like this were mostly reserved for people who could work in large, expensive commercial studios. It's actually remarkable that we get access to so much of the same flexibility from home, and in this case, for free. To learn more about the free and paid versions of this DAW, visit uaudio.com/Luna. Thanks for watching.